This is the second webinar we've held. It's 8 o'clock in Los Angeles, 11 o'clock in New York. I hope your coffee is hot. We have with us Russ. Good morning, Russ.
Good morning, Rick.
How are you this morning?
Doing very good, thank you.
Good. We're going to be just a half hour this morning. We promise we'll stay right on time, and the format will be a little different. What we're looking for this morning are questions from the audience. So you can be thinking about some questions that you can ask Russ about the first hour trading system. Before we get started, and while we wait for a few more attendees to join us, I thought maybe we could do a quick poll, and this will help us understand how long you've been in the stock market and using the first hour trading system, so Russ can kind of tailor the questions to you. So I'm opening a poll. The question is, how long have you been trading in the stock market? And your choices are less than 6 months, between 6 months and a year, between a year and 5 years, between 5 and 10 years, or more than 10 years. If you could just click your choice and then submit. I'm going to close the poll now, so if you haven't voted, you have about 5 seconds to do so. 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's look at the results. So most of you have been trading for less than 6 months, actively trading in the stock market yourself. And now the follow-up poll question for that is, how long have you been day trading? And if you could just click your response to that, have you been day trading for less than 6 months, between 6 months and a year, between 1 and 5 years, or more than 5 years? I'll give you another couple seconds. If you're just joining us, this is the second webinar for the first hour trading system, and this morning we'll be doing primarily questions and answers. So be thinking of some questions that you'd like to ask Russ this morning. Okay, I'm going to close the poll, and most of you have been day trading for less than 6 months, as we would have suspected, I guess. So in our presentation this morning, our presenter will be Russ. You might know him as 56818 if you're in the chat room. Russ has a track record as a successful day trader, and he's very experienced in using the first hour trading system. Russ is out in California this morning. My name is Rick, and I will be kind of hosting the webinar, make sure it runs smoothly, and I'll be passing your questions on to Russ and also any comments you have back to Manny at Wealth Pire. I'm on the East Coast. So here's how it works. For those of you who were here last week, I think you understand that you'll be hearing us on the phone, but we can't hear you. The way the webinar software works, it mutes your phone. So you'll have to use the question and answer box to type in your questions for us. If you're a monthly subscriber, please stick around at the end of this because we have a special offer we'll be showing you again this week. If you're an annual subscriber, I think you understand the benefits of the first hour trading system. Monthly subscribers, maybe now it's time to get serious. So please stick around for the end, and we'll just in about 2 minutes go over a special offer for you. And all of you, when we complete the webinar this morning, Manny has created a little survey, a questionnaire, just 2 short questions for you at the end, and he would appreciate your feedback, just so he understands whether what we're doing this morning is worthwhile for you folks. So we've done the poll. So now I think it's time for questions for Russ. So if you would please type in any questions that you might have in the box as you see it on your screen, and I'll pass those questions on to Russ. I'll give you a second or two to do that.
I'm sure a few of the people might be curious as to how long I've been day trading. Actually, it's been 9 years now.
9 years. Well, I guess that beats every one of them who answered that poll question.
Trading the stock market now for 50 years.
50 years. We have our first question, Russ. And the question comes from Pete. He asks, what is the largest amount to invest without affecting the market? What is the largest amount to invest without affecting the market?
Well, I assume you're talking about on first hour trading, and for all practical purposes, there isn't really any largest amount because Manny primarily trades stocks that very good volume. He doesn't trade anything, 100,000, even 200,000 shares a day. and even if he were trading things that were slightly low in volume, the days that he's trading them, their volume is right up there.
I hope that answers the question. If not, you can follow up, Pete, by typing another question. Here's another question from a listener this morning. For first hour trading, is it better to use limit order or simple market orders? Is it better to use limit order or simple market orders?
I enter the trade with limit orders because I don't want to get a fill so that I'm starting out with very little profitability ahead of me. But most of the time I get out with a market order. Now this morning you could have gotten out with anything because it was not moving very fast at all, and it was moving in the right direction. But many of Manny's trades, he'll be in and out of them in 2, 3, or 5 minutes. And when he gets out, if he's forced out, he tries to get out with a profit, and he tries to get out before it goes too far against him. And so getting out fast is the main thing. Looking for a slightly better price, you'll probably get a much worse price.
And here's our third question. How does short selling work? How does short selling work?
Well, short selling, other than the fact that you use a key or an entry that says sell short, it really works very much like buying. The mechanics are all automatic. Technically, you're borrowing shares of the stock from your broker, which he gets from somebody else. You're selling them. You promise to buy them back, and in day trading, of course, you do that within the same day. But you won't know any of this borrowing and so on that's really going on. It's so automatic.
If you're just joining us, this is, I guess you could call it First Hour Trading 101, and it's our weekly webinar, and we have Russ on the line as our expert, and if you have a question for Russ, all you have to do is type it in your PC in the box where it says questions and answers, and I'll pass those questions on to Russ. Oh, here's another question. Is there any way to get around the $25,000 day trading rule? Any way to get around the $25,000 day trading rule, Russ?
Well, there's a way to get around it, but you're limited to 2 trades per week where you're in and out the same day. So you wouldn't be able to trade 5 days a week. Manny, on the average, has about 4 to 5 trades a week. But if you are willing to just trade twice a week, you don't need to have the $25,000 minimum.
Okay. We have a follow-up question from Brian, and he's asking for a clarification. He says, Russ recommends limit order for entry, market order for exit. What about the stop? That's from Brian. He says, you recommend the limit order for entry, market order for exit, but what about the stop?
I'm not quite sure what you mean about what about the stock.
Stop, S-T-O-P.
Oh, the stop.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, Manny uses mental stops, and in using a mental stop, he doesn't actually put a stop on his computer. He's just looking for the stock to get to that price before he bails out. And sometimes he's seen what looks like a false move in the stock, and so he will go a little bit beyond his stop until he finds out for sure the stock is going against him. And then when he does get out, he gets out most of the time same as I do with a market order.